And there we have the second panel done. And we'll start tinkering with the engine. So I've removed the clutch guys. So the parts have arrived from Racing Planet. So in the last video, I mentioned that I had a couple of performance packages from the Japanese auctions. So let's get them open and see what we got. So this is what we have, guys. So the exhaust has arrived. Really nice gold brazing. I love the burning where you've welded and it heats up the metal and gives this beautiful effect. I love this. So this is an A-line exhaust. That's the tailpipe. This was one of the brands that I was recommended. There are 2 or 3 which a lot of the guys in the group, the Gensuki group, that use. C-Style is another great exhaust. And I wasn't really intentionally looking to buy an exhaust at the time. I was looking through the auctions. But this one come up so cheap. I think we only paid, it was like 95 quid for this exhaust. And these usually start from around 150, 160 quid. And this is new. So I'm so chuffed. Now what stood out with the A-line for me was the slip-on tailpipe and the retaining springs. I've always just loved that look. A lot of these are just one-piece welded, but I love the fact that you see these exposed. Just gives it a bit of character. And this is the start of, as well as the 70cc kit, there are more performance parts on the way. I just did a whole bulk order and ordered everything I require, minus the carburettor. I've just got to order a carburettor from Molossi direct, but that's not a problem. Also, which came with this package, is the side stand. So I mentioned in a couple of videos that even though I refitted the centre stand, a side stand gives it, or keeps the lower stance of the scooter. And this one is quite short, so I shouldn't have to do any cutting and trimming. So yeah, this should be relatively easy to fit. This here looks the same sort of width as the frame, so I should be able to slot it under, bolt it through, and it should be a really simple install. So yeah, this is where it starts getting exciting. I love it. Okay, here we are then, guys. So if you remember in the last video, I laid a bit of fiberglass matting to block this mirror hole. In a second, I will remove the tape, but happy to say, very, very hard. So that has worked lovely. I just got to skim it with some filler. If you remember also, I made this very unconventional mould, and hopefully, yeah, feels like it's set. Hopefully this idea to reproduce this little eyelet here has worked. Also, the crack that was here, safe to say that that has gone also very hard, so that repair is also done. So what I'll quickly do is I'll remove this. Hopefully I have a good mould, and if so, I'm going to replicate this on this one here, and we'll do exactly the same. So I'm very happy to see that this has worked absolutely perfect. I'm obviously yet to sand it flat and drill the hole, but it is absolutely solid. So I am so chuffed with that. I'm glad that worked. So I will definitely be replicating it on that one there. So this bit here, that's also gone hard. So I just need to put a little bit of filler in here. Flat that back. I need to prep this panel anyway, and I'm yet to remove the decals, which even with heat is very difficult. I must admit, these are not wanting to come off with ease, so that's going to be a bit time consuming, but it needs to be done, so it will be done. This panel down here, the same story. I'm yet to remove the rest of the decal and the sticky stuff that's remaining. I usually tend to use a little bit of WD-40 or anything that's oil-based. I find that anything oil-based is really good to soften the residual stick of a decal and then you can scrape it off with like a plastic scraper, and it usually comes off relatively easy. So what I'm going to do is mix up some filler, I think, and yeah, let's get this done. So we'll just let that dry. Shouldn't take too long. Build in this little bit here, and also this bit here. So what I'm going to do now is file this flat, drill the hole, and we have ourselves a new tab. So here is the front cowl. I've sanded down the filler, it's extremely smooth, so really happy with that. And as you can see here, I'm just gluing using some adhesive silicone the long nose fiberglass piece just here. So this will need a little bit of work. I'm going to smooth it in so it all looks like one piece. So I'll leave that overnight. That should set perfectly. And yeah, more bodywork. So the parts have arrived from Racing Planet. And these are the performance engine parts that I was wanting to buy. So let me show you what I've got. So here we are then, guys. This is everything that I require, minus the carburettor, which unfortunately they didn't have in stock, but I can get that from Malossi direct. But this is everything else that we require to get this little engine to produce as much power as it possibly can. So first of all, we have a variator kit. So it has an uprated spring, rollers, and a brand new face, because over the years it will wear where the belt rubs up and down. It will wear slightly, and I imagine it's going to be lightweight, I assume, but either way it's a better kit than stock. A performance CDI unit to hopefully get better spark, etc. Naraku, that is the brand. A lot larger than the OEM one, I must admit, so I'll have to find somewhere to put this. But it's the right one, it's a 5-pin. So I'll be interested to see what difference this makes. We have a new clutch bell. So the original one, it's not bad condition, but I thought if I'm going to go to the effort of replacing everything, I might as well replace the clutch bell also, because I don't know if it's necessarily obvious if there is wear on the inside of this, where the clutch grips. So I've bought a new one. To go with that, we have a new performance Malossi clutch. Comes with the white springs. I can see that the friction material is a lot thicker than the OEM clutch, and quite heavy, to be fair. So I need to get this fitted to the original pulley just back here, and we replace the spring. So this spring that comes with a variator kit just there just fits in between the pulley and the clutch, so we can get that fitted. Talking of clutch springs, I have bought a set here. I've been recommended to go for the yellows. These come with the white, which also are in this kit, and there is black springs there. And these will just allow different tensions for the clutch to open up when spinning. So we can test that out. We have got some 13-gram rollers just there, which goes with the variator kit. Some run only 3 and some run all 6, but I'm going to have a little play about and see which feels better and see which performs better. So I got those. And a new belt, because the importance of these belts is the width. So if it gets too thin, the belt won't ride up on the variator as much, which means you'll get less top end speed. False economy to replace everything for new and run the original belt. So that's replaced also. So with the engine parts all arriving, this is now starting to become really, really interesting. And this is the exciting bit that I was wanting to get to. But unfortunately, in saying that, I think I'm going to continue with the bodywork, because I'm getting there with the damages and it's starting to look really good, to be fair. So I'm going to do a bit more bodywork, and I promise you I'll jump on and we'll start tinkering with the engine. Whilst I'm on the subject of bodywork, let me show you how the long nose came out. So I left this overnight, took the clamps off, and it is set absolutely perfect. So I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I would like to try and smooth this in as much as possible to make it look like one piece. So I might do that. The same here. And I don't know what I'm going to have to do here to smooth it. I might just have to fill this gap because the indicators fit flush to this. But it's on. And it's stuck well. So yes, it's going to take a little bit of work. But I think once I start applying a little bit of fiberglass here and there and some body filler, it'll look a lot more consistent and a lot more smooth. So what I might do is I might mix up some filler and just fill in a few bits and pieces and see what we get. So I've removed the clutch guys, and oh blimey, yeah, at first glance see the scores in that surface and it's very shiny. So I'm actually really glad that I decided to order the Molossi clutch bell. That's definitely had its day. This is the original clutch. So I'll take this apart if I can. I know you need like a clamp to undo this nut because obviously it's under tension because of the spring. If I haven't got anything that can achieve that, I'll probably take this to the local motorcycle shop and I'm sure they will have the right tools to do it for me. But yeah, I'll take this pulley off and I can give that a good clean. You can just see the big spring in there. The big yellow one that comes with the Molossi kit will replace that. And you can just about see the clutch springs there, which obviously we have uprated ones also. So yeah, I need to take this apart. There's quite a lot of wear, to be fair, in that clutch. It's definitely seen its day. And to be fair, with everything that we're wanting to do with this engine, try and get as much power as we can, all of these little details and these add-ons are all needed. So yeah, it's lived a life, but it's now time for an upgrade. After about an hour, the sticker is finally gone. When I said that it likes to come off in small pieces, I wasn't lying. It is horrendous. I used heat, I've used some WD-40, a scraper, some sandpaper, everything, and I finally have it smooth without any sticky residue left. So a little bit of prep, flat back the whole panel, and this one will be ready for primer. And there we have the second panel done. And as always, this one didn't take as long. So yeah, I managed to get a good technique where I could use this and just use kind of like 10-20 mil of the edge and literally just score it across, and I could get it in like rolls. So that seemed to work better for me, but I'm so relieved it's done. That's taken a long time. So just like the other one, completely flat that back, and that is ready for primer. So the clutch is apart, guys. I managed to split it myself. I just stood on the edges here with my feet. Got a 38mm socket, and surprisingly it actually came off relatively easy. So yeah, this is what we have. So I cleaned this up as best as I could. There was a little bit of corrosion on the surfaces, but it's pretty smooth. Because I saw the prices of these, and safe to say, I won't be purchasing one just yet. I'm going to give this a go first, and then maybe in the future, if I need it, I will order one. But as you can see in there, I've checked and greased the bearings both sides. Don't know if it'll pick it up on this side. But there's like some grease there. So yeah, they're greased. It seems to work alright, slides up and down as it should. So safe to say I'll be reusing that. I would like to convert the yellow springs onto this new clutch, as mentioned, but I didn't buy the tool to remove and refit them. So I made one. Just have a bit of steel, put a point to it, and hopefully that'll be enough to hook it and remove them. I've seen that there is a like an anti-friction cap for these springs. I don't know if it's going to make a major difference, but it's so cheap, I think they're like £4 or £5, that I'm actually tempted to buy one when I purchase the carburettor, because it is also a Molossi item. So for the sake of a couple of quid, I might hold off fitting this and wait for the cap. But yeah, so what I'll do is I'll get these springs fitted to the clutch, and I'll have this ready to fit this all back together as and when we get all the other bits. Well, that worked better than I imagined, so I'm quite happy with that. And there's already the first one out. Not so easy to get them in. Okay, might have to think of a different tactic. So yeah, it definitely helped having it in the vise. Kept it nice and secure, so I could put all my force into getting the springs. So the yellow ones are the stiffest springs. What I'll do is I'll just put the description here from the website that explains the stiffness. So as far as I remember, the whites are the like medium range, whereas when you're modifying the engine, which is what I'm doing, they recommend going for the yellows, which are the stiffer springs. So yeah, they're in at least. So there you go. They're definitely not coming out anytime soon. They are definitely in. So yeah, we'll give these ones a go. These are the white ones that I've just removed. And as I mentioned, this set comes with the white and also the blacks, which I think are the softest. But yeah, I'm glad that's done. Just as a comparison, I want to show you this new Molossi clutch bell. So as you can see here, the surface is very dull, just like the rest of the material, and it's very smooth. Whereas if you have a look at the original one again, as you can see, it's very scored. It's got a lot of lines down it. It's quite a deep one there. but also it's got very hot. You can see how shiny the metal has become. What you need to make sure with these, they come in different sizes depending on the scooter you've got. So I know that this one is a 107, and what that means is the distance between here and here. So you can get 105s, 107s, so you need to make sure that you're purchasing the right one, because it also then goes with what clutch you have. So then you know the clutch fits in there perfectly. Okay guys, so I've pulled out the new Malossi spring, and they're actually the same height. In the packet it looked like it was a little bit shorter, but it is the same. The only difference I can really feel is that I would say this one is stiffer, and I imagine just like the clutch springs, you want the stiffer springs for greater pull because it will rev higher. So I imagine that's why they stiffen it up slightly. So that is what I'll need for this. Just going to wait for the cap. I'm going to order that when I order the carburetor, as I've mentioned. This is the new variator kit. I'll go into more detail at a later stage, but this is much lighter. It's all aluminium. We've got the new rollers to go in there. Okay then guys, so whilst we're waiting on those couple of little bits just to finalise the clutch assembly, I'm going to crack on and finish off all this bodywork prep. In the next video, we will definitely be concentrating more on the parts for the engine and hopefully getting some of those parts onto the engine. So I hope you're enjoying it. I certainly am. And if you are, please consider subscribing to the channel. And I really hope to catch you in the next one.